Hi guys, this is my labor and delivery vlog, but what I want to do is give a little bit of an intro before I get to the footage and like the story of like what happened and how I delivered my baby girl. From the time that I was 28 weeks, I had been going to the midwives to make sure that she was growing regularly and like everything was fine and stuff. And everything was great. She was growing, they were happy with like how she was progressing and stuff like that. And so the last scan that I had, which is where you'll see me in that red dress with my bump, and some of the footage of like the waiting room and stuff like that, that was my last scan that I had with her and up to when she was born. So that was when I was 38 weeks, plus a few days or something like that. And I went to that scan and they realized that her growth had stopped again, or it had actually like kind of plateaued. So on the chart, she was going, and then all of a sudden you just kind of see like it peaked and then tipped off, and so that wasn't good. And I discovered all of that at that scan in that red dress in that waiting room. So you'll see footage of me on the bed lying down. That's when the sonographer discovered that her he actually didn't tell me anything. He actually was like, you need to go to the maternity ward day unit and speak to them. And I was just like, okay, cool. Like, thanks for being so vague and like making me panic. But I guess they can't really say anything because they're not the ones that determine what needs to be done next. So as soon as that scan was done, I went over to the day unit which is basically what they told me was, she's not growing anymore. We need to get her out in the next 48 hours. So I got those results to them and they needed my book. And of course, this was like the one day that I forgot my pregnancy booklet. So I had to get my partner to come to the hospital because, of course, we're in COVID. Like, he's not allowed to come to any of the scans and stuff like that. So I had to get him to come and drop the booklet for me. So I had to wait in the waiting room for a little bit. But anyways, I gave it to the nurse, and she was pretty much like looking at the history of Molly's records and stuff. And she was like, yeah, we need to get this baby out in 48 hours. She's not growing anymore, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, what? Like, I just came for a scan. Like, how is all of this happening? And of course, like, I know that this baby is coming in like the next few weeks, right? But like, mentally, I am not prepared for her to be coming in 48 hours.
Hi guys, just a quick update. It is Saturday the 19th of September. It's 7:15 in the morning. I've been booked in for an induction at 8 this morning, but I just got a call from the midwife that it's been delayed until 12 p.m. Because the hospital is quite busy with births at the minute. So I'm just here sitting with my cup of coffee and I'm watching the news about coronavirus spiking again in the UK. But I'm kind of glad that it's been delayed until 12, so I have a bit more time to kind of like wake up properly and not have to like rush around because I didn't really get much sleep last night. My mind is racing and all over the place, just kind of wondering like how this induction is gonna go. I'm excited. I'm nervous. Mostly excited though, but just kind of nervous because obviously like you just never know what an induction will result in, if it'll be a C-section or if I'll be able to give birth vaginally. But yeah, I just thought I'll give you an update. Excuse this little cap on my head. I slept with this on to keep my braids as neat as possible because we're trying to have these in for a little while. So I'm just in W.H. Smith and I'm picking up some stuff that I need as I'm about to go be induced. I'm getting another bottle of water. There's loads of snacks here. And I'm probably gonna get some potato chips just to snack on. Since I have something salty already, I'm probably gonna grab a really chocolatey. The millionaires are good. Yeah. I wore like the comfiest, loosest top, what do you call this, hoodie, and training bottoms, joggers. I look like such a bad lady, but all of this stuff was necessary. Okay, it's my bag, baby's bag, and my nursing pillow. I have to check under the tango. Close. Those results, they'll come back in
like 12 hours, so tomorrow they will be, because this is for admission.
okay.
And if it's negative, they will not tell you. If it's only positive,
They come and say something.
Yes, they will come and say, and you can see them package.
Right. Oh God.
If they put you in like a separate room and everyone come covered, that's mean you probably is positive.
Right. Well, let's hope not. So I'm on the triage ward. I'm being induced. Well, the whole process is starting, so I've not actually been induced yet. But I am hooked up to the tracer. So this one is for contractions. This one is for her heartbeat. And they're just gonna do a trace to monitor, make sure her heartbeat is solid. And I just got my lunch order taken. So yes, this is a shared ward at the minute, and you don't go onto your own suite or room until you're in active labor. And from what I've overheard from other ladies on this ward is that they insert the pessary, which is like a tampon, into your cervix and monitor it for 24 hours, and then see if they can like break your waters or if you need another pessary. So I'm gonna be here for a little while. But I have my laptop, I have my books, I have my snacks, and lunch is on the way, so I know I'm really well taken care of. I'm super excited, I'm super nervous, and I'm keeping my mask on just because my midwife is in and out of the room. But when lunch comes, I'll take it off, and when she's not in and out of the room constantly, I'll probably take it off as well. So yes, I got to take the trace belt off of my belly so I can eat in comfort, but they are happy with her trace. And she was kicking a lot while the belt was on because she hates the belt. But yeah, so it's off my belly now and I can eat in peace. Hi guys, so update. I am waiting for the midwife to come back to insert the pessary into my body. And what it is, let me see if I can find it. I'm just reading through the induction leaflet like a nerd, so I know exactly what's going on and what they're gonna do to me. I think it's good to be aware. I just had lunch. It was really good. It was the chicken tikka masala. It was bomb. Really happy with that. And then I had like a chocolate sponge cake for dessert, and that was really good as well. I'm just here waiting for the midwife to come back to insert the pessary into me so that we can get this induction process going. And she's here, I think she's coming back now. So I'm just taking a little walk with my little belly, enjoying the sun and taking it all in and enjoying my lack of contractions thus far. It's now 10 to 7. I just got dinner. And since the pessary has been inserted, I am more achy. Like I just got up from a little nap to go use the bathroom, and that felt like an effort. My stomach is more achy. My badge is achy. I am a little bit uncomfortable. But yeah, I'm back in bed. I just changed into my robe because it's getting really chilly. And yeah, I'm about to have dinner. And then I'm probably gonna sleep because I am so tired. So we'll see how everything progresses in the night. Hi guys, so I have an update. I'm finally on my labor. I'm in my labor suite. After being on triage for 10 hours. So I was on a triage ward which had like 4 sectional rooms that I was sharing with other ladies until a labor room became available. I'm in the labor suite right now, but I'm not in labor at all. But I think that's just because they want to clear the triage ward for more people to come in if they need it, kind of thing. So I'm gonna give you all a quick like a quick tour of my labor suite. My plan was to be on the birth center, which is the midwife-led center, but because little one, their growth velocity has dropped, I need to be on the consultant-led unit. So I'm no longer what you consider a low-risk pregnancy, which is when you're able to just be delivered by the midwives. I now have to be seen by a consultant specialist. So I don't have the luxury of having the amazing birthing suites that they have downstairs, that the midwives lead, and I'm no longer able to have a water birth, which was my original plan. But it's fine. It's what's in the baby's best interest, and that's all that matters at the end of the day, that they're delivered safely, and that's like the top priority. So and these suites here on the consultant-led wards are still really, really nice. So I'm just gonna give you all a quick tour so you all can see like what it looks like and where I will be and where I'll be delivering my baby. So this is the door that leads to the hallway. That is the ensuite bathroom, and that itself right there is the room. So this is the bathroom. You know, you can have like a wet room section where you can sit, stand, whatever. Your bathtub, which I'll probably use when I'm in early labor, just to soothe myself because I don't have the jacuzzi in my room anymore. And then, yeah, just right at the toilet. So that's the ensuite bathroom. And then we have the room itself. So this is obviously where baby will be looked at and examined when she's born. You have a little sink out here as well. And then you have the pull-out chair for your partner, who's currently not here. He'll be coming in the morning. And then my bed with, you know, the stirrups and the light. Yeah, the difference between the consultant-led unit and the midwife-led unit, I think, with the rooms is that the midwife-led unit is a bit more cozy. Like, it has a bit more of a cozy kind of feel to it. So, like, I know the beds on hospital beds like that, they're actually like queen-size beds. So, like, you and your partner can sleep on the bed or lie down on the bed if you wanted. Then, like, they have the jacuzzi in a corner of the room. Then they have like a birthing ball, a birthing rope. You know, it's just very like homely and like cozy. Whereas this room, the consultant-led unit, is a bit more clinical. Like, you know, you have the bed with the stirrups, you have the light, which is very like, you know, reminiscent of a operating room. You know, you have that big light or whatever. So yeah, it has a bit more of a clinical feel to it. But I do like that it's spacious still. Like, it's really, really spacious. You know, when I'm in labor, I can make use of the space and walk around if I'm able to do so. So yeah, I'm not mad at it at all. And, you know, it's clean, which is super important. And yeah, I'm comfortable. So, you know, I'm happy here. It's fine. It wasn't the plan. But like they say, when you have a birth plan, keep in mind that it's not always going to go to plan, and that's exactly what has happened with my situation. Like, I did not expect to go to my scan yesterday to check up on the baby's growth, as I have been every 3 weeks since 28 weeks, and be told that I need to be induced the following morning at 39 weeks. Hopefully by 2:30 p.m. tomorrow, which is when they need to take this pessary out, something would have started to happen. I'm not gonna lie, I do feel like a lot of pressure down there, and I do feel slight cramping in my pelvic area. So I guess that's all good signs. So yeah, it's currently like, I don't know, minutes to 1 or 2 in the morning on Sunday, the 20th of September. So we will see. I'm gonna keep you guys posted as best I can. My partner's coming in the morning. He can come all now, but I was like, you know, it's not the most comfortable setup. Like, that's a pull-out single couch, and you know, you have the whole bed to yourself home, so take advantage of that. So he'll come as soon as he wakes up in the morning, I guess, and you know, provided that between now and then nothing crazy happens. So he's on call until then. But yeah, if nothing happens, he's just gonna come in the morning. And yeah, I'm just really excited for him to be here because it's just nice having someone, obviously, like while you're going through all of this. So I definitely think I'm starting to get contractions. They are slight, but it's, I think what it is, if I'm correct, and I'm gonna ask the midwife when she comes back to check on me, is that contractions tighten your belly, almost form like a peak. So right here is so tight. It feels like that, and it's hurting a lot on this side. So I'm trying to breathe through them, but I'm hoping that the midwife comes back soon so that I can ask her if on the screen she can see any contractions like on those line charts. But it is uncomfortable. It's not unbearably painful yet, but it is uncomfortable, and I know this is just the beginning. Very exciting, but very scary. Her heartbeat sounds fine. My blood pressure went back up again a little bit, so I guess they'll monitor that. And yeah, just see like if these are actual contractions and what happens next.
So guys, up until this point, my boyfriend wasn't allowed to be in the hospital with me because of COVID, and so they tried to keep contact as minimal as possible and only have your birthing partner there when you're in labor. So in these few clips that you'll see coming up is when we're outside in the hospital grounds taking a walk, and that is just before my midwife broke my waters. So she was basically like, go and get a walk in as much as you can, like, try to just exercise, and this might be your last walk basically before the baby comes, because once they break your waters, you're kind of confined to staying within the hospital.
You want to walk over and see to be sure?
Yeah. So they just gave me another membrane sweep. That was fun. And it's good. It's a good sign, basically. I'm progressing well, and they no longer have to put in another pessary, which is great. Because that would have meant another 24 hours waiting to see what kind of happens, which I didn't want to do. I've already been here plus 24 hours, so that would have sucked. But they are not going to do that. They are actually going to break my waters instead, which hopefully will bring on lots of contractions and, in the end, a baby. So I'm really excited. I'm going to go for one last walk while I'm able, and then come back so that they can break my waters.
Okay, ready? Let's go.
How are you getting me now? Doing some stairs, trying to get this baby out.
And just after you see me walking up and down these stairs with my boyfriend, that's like the end of that period of time where I was free to like walk around the hospital and stuff. After that, I was in my suite, and I was confined to my suite because she had broken my waters, which was horrendous. That was really painful. Like, if any of you all have experienced your waters being broken for you rather than them spontaneously breaking, you know what I'm speaking about. Like, it's the most uncomfortable, intrusive procedure ever. So yeah, I was in my room after that. Like, there was no walking around and going for long walks. Like, that was done. That was around 4 p.m. on Sunday afternoon. And I would say that was the beginning of my active labor. Like, things just progressed fairly quickly from then. Once he had broken my waters, they kind of just wanted to like monitor me and see like how the baby was progressing with that, how I was progressing with that in terms of my blood pressure, because my blood pressure had been like spiking up and down, like very fluctuating. So they were monitoring me, they were monitoring the baby's heart rate to see like how she was kind of coping with, that procedure, and everything was fine. A few hours progressed, etc. And that's when they gave me the options like the hormone drip, the epidural, etc. The hormone drip I was fine with. The epidural, not so much, because I was adamant that I was not having an epidural. And that was not about me trying to be brave or, trying to be like, oh, I just want an all-natural birth. It just was me simply being terrified of that needle going in my back. Like, my luck is not always the best, and I was just thinking of like the worst case scenario, which is obviously paralysis, right? And I was just like, nope, I'm not doing this epidural thing. Like, I'm good, I will do this. Hi. Yeah, I was just like, nope, this needle is not going in my spine. Like, I'm not doing it. I will do all natural if I have to, type of thing. But basically, this is coming down towards the evening now. Like, I'm getting full-on contractions. They've given me the hormone drip, and the hormone drip is really to speed along contractions. But what happens with the hormone drip is your body is no longer naturally contracting. This hormone drip makes your body contract. And sometimes it makes your body contract faster, like your contractions come on faster. And because your body has not had time to gear up to the contractions coming faster, it's more intense. And you're dilating quicker as well. So it's to help you dilate as well, right? Because when she checked me, when she did the membrane sweep, I was still 1 centimeter from when I was 1 centimeter 24 hours ago. So I was just not dilating at all. And so the hormone drip helps with that. It helps you dilate, and it helps the contractions come on a bit more intensely, which they absolutely were. So I was having contractions, walking around the room. Thank God the room was big, so it didn't feel like I was just walking wall to wall. Like, I had space to walk around and just kind of like breathe through the contractions and stuff like that. And my boyfriend, bless him, like, they tell the boyfriends and the partners and the husbands and whatever, when you're doing the antenatal classes, that sometimes your partner might act out of character. So where she might be a very loving, lovey-dovey, clingy, like touchy-feely kind of person, in labor, when she's going through a contraction, she may not want anyone touching her, and like, just don't take offense to that. It's just that that's how she's coping with the pain. And I think he kind of like recognized that I just needed to be not touched while I was going through a contraction. I just needed to bend down and breathe through it, and then once it was over, I could walk and talk and whatever again. And yeah, I was just pretty much having contractions all night. So from like 4 p.m. when they broke my waters to when they gave me the hormone drip, I had been having contractions. And this took me all the way to about 11 o'clock when they checked my dilation again to see that I was still 1 centimeter. No progression whatsoever, even though the contractions were coming in more intensely. They called in the consultant, and she basically was like, you should really consider an epidural because you're not dilating. This labor can go on for like another 12 hours. Like, you will be going through this pain for another 12 hours. So she kind of pushed me in a corner and was like, you just might as well get the epidural, because not doing this for another 12 hours without an epidural is going to be very hard. And I believe that. Like, I was in real pain. Like, I believe you when you say that I'm going to be doing this for another 12 hours and it's going to be hard. Like, it's already hard, and I can't picture myself doing this for another 12 hours. Like, it's not humanly possible, right? So she was like, oh, don't be a hero, like, just take the epidural, whatever. And that annoyed me, because I was like, well, first of all, that's very presumptuous of you to assume that I am trying to be a hero. Like, it's not a hero thing. Like, I'm just deathly afraid of this needle. So she was like, think about it and I'll come back or whatever. So I talked to my boyfriend and I was like, what do you think? He's like, honestly, just do what you think is right for you, blah, 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 whatever. And I was just like, I'm just so scared. Like, I'm so scared of this needle. So they came in, they give you a pamphlet, they talk through it with you, whatever. They have all the pros and the cons, risks, etc. of the epidural. The anesthesiologist came in and she spoke to me. She's like, what is your hesitation about? And I was like, I'm just scared of the needle, type of thing. But because another 12 hours of this pain wasn't sounding very attractive, I was just like, you know what? I mean, you would be really just bad lucky to be paralyzed from this epidural, right? Because it's like a real low risk, right? Or low probability of you being paralyzed. So I'd be like, you would have to be like the unluckiest person on the globe to be paralyzed. So I was just like, F it, like, let me just go and do this. Let me get this epidural. So she came back. This is like an hour of me like deliberating and going back and forth in my mind or whatever. So the anesthesiologist came back and then they started the whole epidural procedure. And my boyfriend watched the whole thing. And I remember in that moment, the anesthesiologist turned to him when he was looking at my back when she was about to start the procedure, and she's like, "Are you a fainter?" And he was like, "No, no, I'm good." Because apparently people faint from watching their partners get epidurals in their back. But I didn't feel a thing. It was a long procedure because you're contracting, right? Like your contractions don't stop when you're gonna get an epidural. Like you're still in labor, you're in active labor, you're having contractions. So I was having contractions, and what they do is they tell you to tell the midwife and the anesthesiologist when a contraction is coming, and then they stop doing what they're doing, because it's that very fine line between screwing it all up and paralyzing you and not, right? So you tell them when you're having a contraction, they stop, let you breathe through your contraction, let your contraction end, and then they continue with the procedure. It takes about 20 minutes roughly. The first thing you feel is the needle that like numbs the area or whatever, and then they take this very fine like wire-like needle, I think is what it is, and like they tape it to your back, and you can lie down on it, you can lie, it's not gonna like rip out or anything like that. It was very like just really, technology and all that kind of stuff, very cool. And they give you like this little like a little top-up button to press every 20 minutes to top up your epidural. Now, your girl forget to press the button. I have no button here. Like, I'm in labor. I'm trying to live and survive through these contractions. So I completely forgot about topping it up every 20 minutes. And I wasn't even timing every 20 minutes to remember to top it up. So my boyfriend did that for me. So he was topping it up. And it's amazing how the epidural works. Like, you no longer feel pain, you no longer feel the pain of the contractions, but you feel the pressure of the contractions, which doesn't hurt. You just feel your body contracting, you're feeling your stomach coming into the peaks and releasing, and then also you feel the pressure down in your vag, which is obviously the baby descending, right? So the epidural was amazing. After that, I was like, yeah, this is great. I can do this for 12 hours, no problem. So remember, this is like now midnight, right? So 11 o'clock in the night, I'm 1 centimeter dilated, no change. The doctor comes in and is like, you're going to be doing this for another 12 hours. You might want to consider the epidural. An hour later, I get the epidural. So, okay, fine, midnight, whatever. Cool. And we ride in. Like, the epidural there, like, fantastic. I feel like a new woman. I can do anything. A couple hours later, so let's say like around 2 o'clock, 2:30, 3, like 2:30, let's say 2:30 in the morning, I tell the midwife, I'm like, I am feeling this intense pressure in my vag. Like, I feel like there's something between my legs. Please, can you check me? And she's like, oh, we're not meant to check you for another few hours. Like, do you think you can wait it out? And I was like, I promise you, like, there's something there. Like, I don't know if it's the head, what is going on, but like, there's this intense pressure. It literally felt like somebody was just pressing like that in my vag, but hard, like real hard. And I was just like, what is this? Like, is this child coming out of me? Like, and I don't even know because of the epidural. And that's the scary thing with the epidural. Like, oh, great, yes, like it takes away all the pain. You can't feel anything. But it also, because you can't feel anything, you can't really like gauge what is what, or what's from what. Like, you just don't know anything. So I'm like, I'm feeling this intense pressure, but I don't know what it is. So she's like, all right, fine, let me check you, whatever. Because I was so sure. I was like, please just check me. Like, you could just check me, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But like, I feel like something is coming out of me, and I need you to check, please. So she checks, and she's like, oh my God, you're fully dilated. Okay. I just went from 1 centimeter dilated, right, to fully dilated from 11 p.m. to 2 in the morning. That's 2 hours. 11 to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to 2. In 3 hours. In 3 hours, I went from 1 centimeter to fully dilated. Right? And she was like, it's go time. Like, it's time to push. It's time to get ready. I think I waited an hour. She said, we need to wait an hour. Because why, boy? She said we needed to wait an hour for something. So we waited about like half an hour or so to start pushing, and I cannot remember why. So this was around, I would say, like 3:30ish. We started pushing. I started pushing to get Molly out, and I knew I was getting tired. Like, even though I couldn't feel anything, my body was just like giving up. Like, I'm pushing, and they're telling me, you're doing great, like, you're pushing, but you need to push a little bit harder, because every time you push, she's going back up. And I'm just like, this is a sick joke. Like, I am pushing. I felt like I was pushing I was just pushing so hard. I was just like, I don't think I can push any harder. Like, I might rip my vagina or like something bad will happen. Like, how much harder can I push? So, and I think they realized, okay, she's getting tired. Her blood pressure spiking a little bit. Baby's getting a bit distressed. Here are your options. So they gave me the options in terms of, assisted deliveries, which ended up being, for Marley, a ventouse delivery, which is like this suction cup that they stick on the baby's head. And then they slowly pull her out with the help of you doing pushes. But it's not like the pushes that you were doing when you were doing to get her body out. Because I pushed and I got her head out. But where I was starting to struggle and getting tired was getting the rest of her body out. So like her shoulders and the rest of her body, right? And so her head was out, and that's how the consultant was able to come in, attach the suction cup to her head, and then slowly pull her out. They suction the thing to her head. I start to breathe the pulsing breaths to get the rest of her body out, and I literally felt like her shoulders pop out. It was so weird. And then she was born. They wiped her down, they put her on my chest, we did skin to skin, we had the whole golden hour, which is amazing. She latched on immediately. Then they weighed her, they measured her, and they timed her breath and everything, and that was all great. And it was just like the most emotional thing. Like, as soon as she touched my chest, I just erupted into tears. Like, I don't know, it's like exhaustion, it's relief, that she's healthy and she's safe. It's happiness, it's joy, it's sadness, it's just everything all in one, and it's just like the most intense, overwhelming emotion ever. And yeah, so that clip that is following this clip is where they weighed her, they measured her, daddy got some pictures in, and then they put her on my chest after all of that so that we could have our golden hour and our skin to skin. It was just honestly the most amazing experience. My hospital was incredible. My hospital has one of the best ratings in England for their maternity unit, and that really, really shone through. Like, I can't fault them in any way, shape, or form. In terms of the care and the treatment that I received throughout my entire pregnancy and thereafter, like even afterwards, when the midwives come to your home to check on you in the first 2 weeks of the baby's life, they check on you, how mom's doing, mentally, emotionally, physically, how is baby doing. It's like just a very holistically supportive experience, and I cannot thank them enough. The most incredulous part of all of this is that this is free. I paid for nothing. I paid for nothing. That's National Health Service. That's in NHS. That incredible experience that I had delivering my baby safely and healthily was free of charge. It blows my mind. I'm not gonna have my kids anywhere else. As long as the NHS exists and it survives, I would never have my kids anywhere else. It was just the most amazing experience, and I'm so grateful. I hope that this my labor and delivery story was interesting. I feel like, it's so different, the experience here in the UK versus Trinidad or the Caribbean and the US. So it's always, I feel, for me at least, interesting to hear someone else's perspective of their labor and delivery, based on where they are, what country they live in, what it's like for them.